Last time on LIMBUS Company, our sinners sliced and diced their way through the hordes of miners, robots and freaky birds, before cutting down the biggest bird of them all without an apocalypse in its name, Baba Yaga. Where we're left off now is into Canto 3, which I believe would most likely be our first true challenge. Canto 3, being the first major release that LIMBUS Company done, would have its own unique gimmick, more dangerous encounters and even deadlier bosses than the previous. For this Canto, we're going to have to put down the She units and bring in new challengers. However, as we begin to progress through the higher and higher levels, we'll gain access to stronger and stronger units. So, speaking of, let's start analysing Canto 3, shall we? Canto 3 is mainly comprised of knights, Pekachula, and abominations. Most, if not all of them, are weak to blunt in some form or way. So, our decision previously to remove our She units for now and the foreseeable future will have to be something we deal with. Fly high, soldiers. This time around, we'll be downgrading from 3 units to 2. Now I know this seems like somewhat of a death wish, but with our cap of units actually being increased to around 100, we can actually bring in even stronger units than before, which makes up for the lack of numbers. May I introduce you to the Sad Boys. Now I know what those of you who play the game are thinking. Kamui, this is insane. And you're correct, this is insane. We're in the insane Canto, but in all seriousness, with Enclair's monster class in dealing damage and Sunshower's monster class in hitting heads and taking damage, we'll have Sunshower be our tank while we manage Enclair's ever-losing sanity. Was the original plan at least. However, after our first fight with Guido, I discover something pretty quickly. Sunshower is too good. He just can't lose. No, seriously, you need to hear me out. I need this boy to be at negative sanity, not positive. But after the first wave of the fight, he just wins too much. No matter what happens. But it's alright, we can still use them to win our clashes for the moment, and we can make swift work of Guido using the power of the 16 and 30 coin skills. So, let's get on to that right now. Although that experience did teach me something. Hell, if we can't help but get high sanity on our tank, then why not use someone who wants to be sane? And may I introduce you to the MVP of the entire run, Red Eyes Ryoshu. Red Eyes Ryoshu is an amazing character to have on your team, in your support, and in the battle. She can provide useful utility, like health, SP, and is a suitable tank, and has amazing coin and damage. And, for us, that's exactly what we need in this Canto. Her blunt damage is insane. Her status effects that she applies, insane. And, the most useful thing of all, her ability to give SP to others, and in this case, Enclair. With that, we have created our ultimate duo of Ryoshu and Sinclair. With Guido the Indestructible defeated, we move on to actually beginning the Canto story dungeon. Now, as I said previously before, I won't be going much over the standard mooks, although as I said previously, Knights, Abominations, and Pekachula stand in our way. I've purposely created this team to be as efficient as possible when destroying them, so just understand that maybe slight damage will be taken, but genuinely no threat. What is more important, however, in this Canto is actually the story events. As you can see, we have to actually complete the gimmick of Canto 3. We will be dealing with the Sign. The Sign is very special, as it allows Sinclair to stand up against Cromer and actually provides mechanical benefits. If we do not have the Sign, the final fight with Cromer, it could be considered almost near impossible. What the Sign allows us to do is it drastically nerfs her passive. I'll get more onto that when we actually get there, but for now understand our goal is to collect 3 signs. Not only do we wish to collect 3 signs, it would be preferable if we collect as many gifts as possible. As I've said before, in the Zane route, I'm allowing myself to collect gifts and egos from events. This will not be a thing when we do the hard mode version, as I feel it'll add just a little bit of more unnecessary difficulty. In this instance, we'll be unlocking a secondary path that allows us to skip a majority of the fights and as well as give us a little bit of extra benefits. Moving on to our first boss of Floor 1, the 4-legged beast. Now, this is quite a simple fight initially. Further on through the Canto, we'll eventually fight multiple beasts, and they'll become more of a elite and regular encounter. At the current moment, we only have 2 to deal with. The way these 2 will work is they'll basically hit a damage threshold. Once you hit the damage threshold, they gain enhanced damage, more actions, more speed. For us, luckily, we have the ability to withstand the early parts of their waves. So, by striking them early and lasting them a couple of waves, we're able to gain more skills for us to actually counter them. We're also not worried much about their damage, because we've purposely picked Red Eyes Ryoshu. Red Eyes Ryoshu in this Canto will be our tank. Even if we did have to take damage, she will be the one to do it. With that said, the four-legged beasts are no problem whatsoever, and with Sinclair's insane amounts of damage, and Ryoshu's supportive ability, we take down the Hounds of Hell and move on to Floor 2 of Canto 3. Floor 2 is pretty much the same as Floor 1 with a few minor differences. Number 1, there are more events on this floor, and there's also a catch-up system for the signs in case you missed any on Floor 1. At the end of the Floor 1, we already achieved the maximum sign that we could acquire, so we're pretty much good. But I still go through these events anyway to get any helpful ego gifts that I can find. I know I'm gonna need them for Chroma especially. There are also 2 bosses here on the same floor. The first boss that we encounter is actually going to give us a little bit of trouble in the beginning, then we do well. Now, I'll talk about that when that happens, which will be soon. The second boss, I don't believe I had any problem with, besides also being a little slow. But yeah, for now it's just going to be going through events, and a very easy fight, and then another event, and then a few more events. Oh geez, how many more events are in this place? This Canto introduces a lot of events, and to be fair, they're useful, so I can't really blame it, especially because we're going to be using them. Besides that, nothing much more to talk about, and we'll move on to the first boss. The second floor boss is everything there of an Inquisitor. Now, the unique gimmick of this is their counter die will strike you back the same amount and same damage that you struck them with, which is a bit scary. I also didn't expect this many of them to appear. Luckily for me, we actually managed to pull through, but my Enclair did panic halfway through the fight, which meant Ryoshu had to take everything. However, because she's a great unit that has a great shield and she was made to tank, this problem that we encountered was solved swiftly and efficiently. And with Ryoshu and Sinclair pummeling their way through, we finally take down everything there of an Inquisitor and leave nothing there of an Inquisitor. After defeating the first boss, we make our way down to grab an event. This will give us a useful ego gift, and then from this event, we go immediately to fight a Mook, but Sinclair starts the fight at minus 45 SP, which isn't really dangerous for us, but it's more funny because of the fact that we got their last fight. So, once there, we do one last event to get an item, and then do another final event to get past a bunch of guards. Luckily, Ryoshu and Enclair can both pass the checks quite easily, and we begin our fight on this floor, the Slithering Inquisitor. The Slithering Inquisitor is a fight that isn't necessarily difficult, but time-consuming. The snakes that we have to break on his body allow us to actually deal proper damage to him and give him fragile, which means, again, he takes more damage. The problem being, every time we break one of his arms, he's going to force us to end our turn, inflict us with a mass amount of poison, which is going to deal a lot of damage over time. As long as it doesn't kill us, however, that's all we care for, because we know there's going to be a rest. Lucky for me, there's only one Slithering Inquisitor, and, well, we have 2 people, so do the math. In this instance, 2 is greater than 1, and we're able to just wail on him, stagger him until he dies, putting down this snake for good. So, I know I said I wasn't going to be talking about mooks, and in all of the clips I've been showing mooks, and let me tell you, this sucks in terms of editing. Going through the 2-hour VOD and snipping out each and every time I have to grab a mook and kill it, I am going to be changing it from here on out. From here on out, I'm showing the last hits of every normal enemy we fight. I didn't struggle, I didn't have any damage, and I was not in any danger at all. So really, there's nothing here besides confirmation that I actually did it with 2 units. And look, if I was going to cheat in this video, well, I wouldn't be streaming it in the first place. Nonetheless, we have only one major fight left before we actually finish the Canto, and that is Chroma herself. Chroma herself is going to be a little scary because of a certain gimmick she has. Not specifically the sign gimmick, but she does in fact have an insta-kill gimmick if you're under a certain amount of health. I don't think that's going to be much of a problem for our 2 characters here, but if someone gets staggered, which she does choose to stagger someone, and an attack does land that we can't block, it's very possible that we can lose the life of one of our sinners. But for now, we go and fight every enemy. Inquisitors, the dogs, the freaking slimy guys, the tentacles, the sore sights, everything. Everything jumps us, everything attacks us, but we manage it all, and we push all the way through. Because at the end of this tunnel, there is hope. But before hope lies Chroma, the Pekachula of Lust, and we need to put a stop to her. Out of all the reasons that we brought these 2 units, there was one particular reason we brought N-Corp, besides the fact that he's just a great unit in general. We actually get a free turn in the Cromer fight due to using the N-Claire ID. This is a unique interaction, and this is not the only ID in the game that has a unique interaction. There'll be plenty more that I take advantage of. Typically, using these unique interactions provides us a generous buff or advantage in the fight. Besides that, let's talk about Cromer. Cromer has two phases in her fight. The first phase she has is she's trying to inflict us with a bunch of bleed and a bunch of paralysis. We can't let her get this off, because if she does, she'll start snowballing. But we have more coins than her, and this is a great time for us to get high SP on Ryoshu, lower SP on Sinclair, plenty of skills, and plenty of buffs. We combine offsetting her evade and striking her with Sinclair's one-side attacks, mainly having Ryoshu tank. Now, during this part of the phase, she will stagger someone toward the later end before she transforms. That won't necessarily be much of a problem, but it is a potential to worry, especially if we don't have the haste. With all the ego gifts we brought, we have pretty high clash power, pretty high damage, high survivability, high everything. So it's quite good that we prepped. In the Aleph part of this challenge, this is going to be a fight that is much more scary than it is now, mainly due to the fact that we won't have the strong IDs. We'll have to make do with the ones that take a lot more work to put in. Not necessarily bad, mind you. I believe that there are no truly bad IDs in the game. I think there is something that could be considered the worst, and something that could be considered at the bottom, and that's all unfair. However, truly, you can make anything work if you put your mind to it, if you have the skills and the knowledge. Speaking of the skills and the knowledge, we finally move on to Phase 2 of Cromer. Phase 2 of Cromer, she has multiple arms and a body to break. She's going to try and insta-kill us if she has low HP. Things that we can do here. We want to break the arms. Done. We want to have 3 signed. Done. And that's it. Now we just need to hit her over and over again. Beat her down like she mentally beats down Sinclair. Luckily for us, that is exactly what we do. I'm so used to doing hard mirror dungeons that I kinda have a elated feeling about certain enemies and fights. They're usually so much more tankier, so much more health, and I have no problem with that because I like this game. I love this game even. So if I can enjoy a fight for long, there's no problem with me. I've played Library of Ruina, I can understand an hour or 2 hour fights. But coming back to the story has widened my eyes and expertise to the fact that, damn, we can do this pretty confidently. And that makes me happy, because soon over here, we finally strike down Cromer, destroying her arms, breaking her body, leaving nothing behind but the flesh. The flesh that she rests on, the flesh that she taunts Sinclair with every single day of his life. Cromer, the Pekachula of lust, will no longer stand in anyone's way ever again, for she will be taken down by the sinners and their might of hope. And Demian coming in and kill-stealing for us, even though he helped us in the story. Damn you, Demian, you kill-stealed. Anyhow, with that done, Canto 3 is officially over. But the video isn't over. No. We still have a little bit to talk about in this video. There's a certain kitchen we have to talk about. Yes, it's time for us to talk about Hell's Chicken. Oh boy, so that was a Canto, wasn't it? I won't lie to you, toward the later end of that fight before Cromer, I was starting to get really agitated. And I'm sorry about that. It's been pretty frustrating doing this editing for like 4 hours straight. And I gotta tell you, man, I got a new appreciation for people who edit videos. I don't know how you guys do it. I take this giant 2-hour clip, and I go, oh, I can make at least half an hour out of this. And at the end, it's like 10 minutes. And I go, 10 minutes? That's shorter than the first video I made. How the hell did that happen? Anyway, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for the Intervalo. Instead of taking all the clips and cutting them, I'm just going to fast forward all of the non-essential fights, except the really important part that happens that I teased all the way back in episode 1. And basically wait until we get to the actual meaty boss to then resume the normal gameplay. I think that'll save a lot of my sanity. So, hope you are excited to hear my voice, because yeah, we got another, 5-10 minutes to go. No idea how long this video is going to be. Gonna figure that out in post. With that out of the way, it's time to start talking about Hell's Chicken. Starting off Hell's Chicken, we decide first to completely change our team, swapping off N-Claire and Red Eyes Ryoshu for Magic Bullet Otis, Liu Ishmael, and Liu Ryoshu. With this mixture of Pierce and Slash, we can have the Pierce to deal with all of the ads, and the Slash to deal with the main boss. Now, the reason we chose this team as well is because there's a lot of ego gifts that relate to burn in this dungeon. So I decided, hey, why not? Oh, do I almost immediately regret it. Why don't you just listen to my live reaction instead? Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna get a lot of bullets fired here. Uh-oh, are you gonna find out your team? Otis, you fucking bitch! Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Ooh, Jesus. Uh-oh, uh-oh. I just threw really hard. Are they dead? Uh-oh, I think I just got Ryoshu and Ishmael killed. I think Otis just got fucking Ishmael and Ryoshu killed. Oh my god, she's gonna get killed too. No way, you're kidding me. Everyone needs to roll low. Please roll low. Please roll low. Oh my god. Oh my god. Please. They're brought back to life. Oh my fucking god, I almost just threw so hard. Dude, and they still can hit them all. Okay, well we're just gonna have to hope that we don't get staggered again. Good. 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 Just kill everyone, Shmeli. This guy's gonna bunk you, but it's fine. Okay, new rule, no more firing the gun. This is banned. You've been banned from firing the gun. You have been banned. You are no longer firing the gun. The gun is no longer in use. That almost killed 2 of our party members. And this Nuzlocke would have been... Oh, we would have lost Ishmael for Canto 5. And Ryoshu, just in general. Wow, okay. This is very scary, and I don't even know if I want to keep using him. She's at fucking 30 health, man. So, yeah. Now it's less Otis's fault than more so my own, because like an idiot, I completely forgot about the fact that Magic Bullet rips her SP away, especially when she has a lot of bullet. Nonetheless, for the rest of the encounter, we sub in Gregor. Gregor is perfectly fine to sub in, but we do bring Ryoshu back once we manage to heal her a little bit, and from here on out, I double, triple, quadruple check to make sure I don't double Magic Bullet in a row. Learn my lesson, right? Here we are, the final fight of the Intervalo, Papa Bongi, Spicy Edition. With this, we've brought back Ryoshu now that Gregory has done his job, and for this, all we need to do is make sure that we kill the little chickens, and we need to destroy the KFC bucket that Papa Bongi has. The gimmick of this fight is the minute you destroy the KFC bucket, Papa Bongi enrages. He also gets stronger the more chickens there are on screen. So, we want to kill all the chickens, and then kill the KFC bucket since it will also spawn in more chickens. Doing this, beating him in the clash, breaking the coins, we turn Papa Bongi into a delicious zinger box, finishing the Intervalo, Hell's Chicken. And with that, the video is complete. Once again, I want to thank everyone who has been here, who is here, and who will be here in the future. If you want to check me out, I stream every night on YouTube and Kick in the socials below. Thank you so much, and please have a pleasant day, travelers.